Welcome back to the Bulldog Insider. Time for Coach's Corner, brought to you by Cooper Chase Construction. All right, Coach, you look at the numbers from last night's game. Nevada had more total yards, more first downs, and fewer penalties. But you guys obviously win the game. What happened in that game statistically that makes you kind of think, all right, we won, but did we really play well?
Well, we didn't play that well, and we did some things that are not typical of us. We got in a lot of third and long situations. We hurt ourselves with some illegal procedures and just didn't play sharp on offense. Defense did a nice job of not letting them into the end zone. You know, they made their yards, and really their quarterback hurt us by scrambling and making some big plays with his legs, but did a nice job of holding them out of the end zone.
You bring up Nevada's quarterback. At this time last week, we still thought Ty Ganji was going to be playing in that game. When did you find out that it would be Solano, and what was your game plan for him?
The game plan was the same because you have to stop their offense, and they're not going to change their offense because of it. But it's probably better for them that Ty didn't play, because their quarterback's the guy who hurt us with his legs, and Ty's usually not that guy, especially when he has a bum knee.
Speaking of starters, DeJounte O'Neal was your starting running back last night. We knew Josh Hokett wasn't 100% after the Toledo game. He didn't play at all, but Jordan Mims was limited in his time as well. What's your running back status health-wise? Where is Hokett? Where is Mims? What can you expect moving forward?
I think we'll be better this week. Josh didn't make the trip last week. Hokett didn't practice all week last week and just was ready on game day, so that's why he was limited. But that's where kind of the depth in the backfield is a positive for us, to have Ronnie back in the mix, and DeJounte, you know, did some good things as well, you know. So, but I expect him to be back 100% this week.
And what about Mims? A week ago, he led you in both rushing and receiving. He was, I don't want to say a non-factor, but certainly not as dominant.
Well, like I said, he didn't practice all week. Didn't really on Thursday. Took a couple reps, but he was pretty banged up from the week before. And so, but wanted to make sure that we had a three-back rotation going, so he got limited reps. You know, I mean, he did fine. He didn't have a lot of space to run. He did fine, but he should be back to 100% this week.
Which is good, because as a group, you only produced 30 yards on the ground last night. How concerning is that? Well,
we knew going in that this is going to be a tough game to run the ball against them. They're fourth in the country in tackles for loss, and so they're unconventional. They do a lot of things up front with a lot of movement, and they played really well. You got to give them a lot of credit. You know, I thought they played really hard. I think, you know, I think they're going to have a promising season. They're a good football team.
Last night, neither team was particularly efficient on third downs. They were 4 for 18. You guys were 3 for 13. Is there a quick fix to that?
Stay out of third and long. We were in seemed like a lot of third and longs. You know, we had some things. We had some drop balls, took a sack, had some penalties. You know, just some things that are not generally like us, and so we have to clean some of those things up.
There was no scoring in the first quarter last night. At halftime, it was 7-3. As you're walking to the locker room, you look up at the scoreboard. What do you think?
Well, there's another half to play, and hadn't had the ball much, and kind of shot ourselves in the foot a little bit. Like I said, with some drop balls, 2 illegal procedures, had a sack that took us out of the red zone. You know, so there were just some things that we needed to try to clean up in the second half.
On defense, you had 3 interceptions last night. Tank Kelly, Juju Hughes, and Mike Bell. You have 11 interceptions so far this season, 16 takeaways total. Who gets the credit for that?
Well, they do, because they catch it, but it's everyone. It's everyone, really. It's the coaching staff that does a good job of putting them in a position to be successful. It's their attention to detail to execute it, and then it's the guys up front. You know, I mean, anytime things are happening in the back end, typically it's because things are going good on the front end and pressuring the quarterback.
I noticed you changed up your starters on the defensive line. Kwame Jones got the nod over Emeka Endo. What was the reasoning for that move?
Same thing. Emeka was beat up, really didn't practice all week, and so, you know, you have to kind of dip into your depth a little bit. You know, when guys are starting to get banged up through the season, we brought a couple young kids up, brought Mosby back. Isaiah Johnson played as a freshman, so we had some guys that we had to fill in, and you know, and that's going to happen throughout the season. You know, there's going to be guys that get banged up and can't practice for some reason, and so you have to rely on some other guys to step up.
Time for a quick break. More with Coach Tedford when we come back.